Hey, Justin, how you doing? And Mike is first. All right, Russell's here. That's great. Yeah, Dave's going to be here shortly. He had a phone call, and so yeah. Oh, Mike, that's too bad. Mike said that he didn't find the camera he lost. Hey,
Hey,
little Lama Laura.
Had to get some meds.
That's okay. Little Lama Laura, how you doing? Welcome. Mike.
Hi, Laura.
Mike Rennick, Russell Graham.
Hey, guys.
Justin is in the chat. And yeah. Yeah, they're still calling for 10 to 12 inches of snow overnight tomorrow and into Friday morning.
Yeah, same here. But it's more looking like rain. Cold weather.
You're gonna get a little rain at first. Here, I'll show you what's coming here. Okay, here I'll show you screen share. Okay, that's at 10 o'clock tonight right there now, and it'll reset itself and go back. But you see the blue is the ice.
Yeah.
5:46, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. It's getting close to me, you know?
Yep.
Let's see where you're at. Oh yeah. See, you're on the edge of the ice. See that.
Yeah, I'm on the edge.
Let's see what time it changes over to more ice. About now.
Well, it's raining out now. It's starting to get cold.
See, there's 11 o'clock. See how it's ice band right through there?
It's hard to see.
Well, here, I'll stop it. Okay, there's Columbia right there. That's at 11 p.m. See that big band right there of ice?
Yeah, I do.
That's the ice and the snow on the other side.
We'll get some, but I don't think it's gonna be as bad as what they're saying. I think it's gonna be cold, but more rain. I don't know though. I'm not a weatherman.
Yeah, I hear you. And then the other side of the spectrum is the teeny bar.
Yeah.
Screen share, teeny bar, the mini teeny bar, the teeny martini bar. There it is.
It's like a nice family going out for a stroll.
Yeah. People are in shirts, a little bit of a jacket, but not much.
Yeah, a little jacket there. Well, there goes one lady in.
Yeah.
Get a martini.
She's got her little daughter with her. See her daughter? They must have changed their mind. Okay, step share. Yeah, so Eric is here. Eric Ross, how you doing? AZ is here.
AZ, Eric, hi.
Yeah, everybody hit that like button if you would. I'd appreciate it. And if you want to join the panel, feel free right up at the top there. Paul Hodges is out for dinner with friends tonight. He went over to help them make ground up deer meat for out of the deer that they got. So he was over there and they were having him for dinner with pork chops and all the trimmings. So I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I don't know what set off my there's I'm going to screen share my side yard. And I don't know what set off the automatic light. Something must have moved. Whether it was a squirrel or something, but yeah, it's getting dark already.
I missed my test by 1 point.
Which test?
My driving test.
You missed it by 1 point and they didn't give it to you?
Oh, my written test.
Ah. So how long do you have to wait before you take it?
I could have taken it right then and there again. I was just exhausted.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything.
Right. Well, you just rest up and take it again. That's all. Now you pretty much know what's going to be on the test.
Well, hang on. There's my brother.
Okay. Eric, Dave's still feeling a little queasy, a little bit worn out, but he's at least he's somewhat better than when he was in the hospital. Well, the Assiniboine, I'll show you. I'll give you my opinion on the Assiniboine. The Assiniboine is like it's pulling over, going to anchor. He's been dilly-dallying up here ever since yesterday. He went over here a little bit, like at 1 knot, 2 knots, 3 knots, 4 knots. And I thought he was waiting for an escort to go down, but his destination is Sarnia. So, but I thought, well, maybe the Nehi Bay is over here. The Alpena did make it into Cleveland. It's docked in Cleveland. And it was escorted finally by the, it's right there, the Alpena. The last stretch was done with the Nehi Bay. The U.S. Coast Guard cutter out of Port Huron the Hollyhock escorted it all the way down to about this point where the Neah Bay took over. And the Hollyhock turned back out and went around, and it just docked within the last hour back here at Port Huron. It's right there. But as far as I don't know what's going on up there. I mean, if you look, let me zoom in and I'll tell you how far offshore he is. Okay, that's 3,000 feet. So it's 3,000, 6,000, 9,000, about 12,000 feet. Well, that's about 2 miles offshore. Well, maybe about 3 miles offshore. But he's been dilly-dallying around up here all day. Because I was watching him yesterday and this morning. This morning he was still up in this area. And right now he's only doing 2.8 knots. So I don't know what to say about it, but it just doesn't look good. Well, the dock, several of the ships left Sarnia Bay yesterday. 2 or 3 of them did. Oh, I didn't screen share that? Let me, I tell you what, it's tough getting old. I don't recommend it to anybody. Yeah, I see, Lynn. Wasn't screen sharing, was I?
You're not screen sharing.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to screen share now.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Screen share. And here we go. Screen share. Can everybody see that now? Okay. Here is the Assiniboine. It's just right offshore. It was hovering around in this area for the last day and a half. Up in here. It'd go a little bit over here, a little bit over there. And right now it's only doing 2.6 knots. Its destination is Sarnia down here. And I didn't know whether, they got the Alpena into Cleveland, but I didn't know whether, the Hollyhock escorted to here, this point, and then the Neah Bay took it into Cleveland. And the Hollyhock headed back this morning, all the way back to Port Huron. It ended up docking here in Port Huron, within the last hour. That's its home port right there, Port Huron. But what it's doing up there, I don't know. Just couldn't tell you. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, so I'll stop sharing. You're always welcome, AZ. You're always welcome. I guess we lost Dave again. But yeah, Dave's doing better. Not 100%, but Dave is doing better. Hey, Justin is coming in.
What's up?
Hey, Justin, how you doing?
Good.
AZ said he lived in Baltimore for 15 years. So he's familiar with snow and blizzard. Justin, you grew up in California, right?
Right.
You can't see it, got to tilt it down, down a little.
No, you see the screen?
Yeah.
I shattered it.
Oh, the little marks on the screen. Yes.
I put it up on the work truck and forgot it was on the roof.
That's like that commercial where a guy puts a cake on top of the car and drives there because the Kia is so steady, and he gets there and takes it off and goes in the house.
Yeah, I was talking to my boss and I was leaning in his window and I completely forgot it was up because I was leaning up against his window and I had my arms up like this.
Uh-huh.
And I set it down on the roof and I walked off, got in my car to follow him. And then I noticed it goes bloop, right off his roof in the middle of the road. And it landed fine on the road until a car got up. I pulled over to grab it and a car got over to miss me and goes right over top of it. But it didn't do anything to the back of the phone. And so I got to take it Friday and have it fixed. What's up, Eric?
Eric is here. Everybody, if you would please hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, it was kind of a toss up coming on, but I know that a lot of people were looking for it. So I was running around. I had to go get some wild bird seed, and I was doing some other shuffling around. So I got back home just a little bit before 5, and then I had to feed Mia, and my tenant came down upstairs and paid me some cash, which is good.
You have a tenant upstairs?
Yeah, I have a 2-bedroom apartment upstairs.
Oh, wow. I never knew that.
Yep.
So was it originally a 2-story house and you just split it in 2 or what?
Well, this house I was brought home from the hospital to. This is the family house. And originally had an apartment upstairs that they rented out because it's got its own entrance and they park over on the other side. But as we started to get a little older, they just took out the one part of the wall, the living room, and it opened it up to the stairway going upstairs. And so we just lived in the whole house. We used the bedrooms upstairs, and Dad turned the kitchen, took all the cabinets out, and turned it into a study. And he took the living room and made that into a master bedroom. And so
you turned it back into an apartment?
yeah, I turned it back, put the wall back up and turned it back into an apartment, put new cabinets in and
wow.
And all that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. I never even knew that.
Yeah, it helps with the bills. The heating bills and everything are high, even though I had insulation blown in the walls. It's such a big house that.
No, it gets super cold there too. So I mean,
Yes.
insulation's only going to do so much.
Right.
So are they decent and quiet?
Yeah, for the most part. I get a little bit of thumping up there when the kids get a little rowdy up there, but
Not too bad.
not too bad. I mean, they're nice enough.
That's good. It's hard to find good tenants.
Yes, it is. It is.
So I called around. It's luckily for some, you know how expensive iPhones are.
Right.
For some reason, it's super cheap to replace an iPhone screen. But if you have a Samsung, it's like $200 if you want to get like $200-300 if you want a new screen for your Samsung.
Uh-huh.
It's like $50 to $90 to replace a screen for my iPhone.
Oh, wow. Can they do it like right away or?
Oh yeah, the 2 or 3 places I called, they said they could do it within an hour.
Oh, so you could probably make an appointment on a Saturday, go in there and have it fixed and be out of there, right?
Well, probably what I'm gonna do is take it Friday morning when I go to work, and then just drop it off and pick it up sometime in the afternoon.
Okay.
So, because I'll be working around in Winter Haven because my boss has a doctor's appointment on Thursday, and Friday he'll be at the
And
doctor's.
You have a
so-
company phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I do have a company phone, but it's like you can only use the apps that are on there. You can't download any apps. You can't go on the internet and do anything besides like
Yeah, well, they want
Google
to.
Map searches.
What I'm saying is, you won't not be in communications with your work. They can get.
Oh, no. Because I'm actually riding with Connor on Thursday and Friday. One of my other friends that works with us. So I'm just going to be cruising around with him for a couple days. Oh, it's going good, AZ. Really good. I got this whole thing to study.
Oh, wow.
I have to take a test here in the next week or two. If some lady has to come down from North Carolina and give me a test. And
Lynn says it's really a pain in the butt, Justin. I think she's had to replace the screen before.
Yeah. Well, like I said, like when I had my Samsung, right, I bought a Samsung, what was it, S9, I think, about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I dropped it about a month after I bought it. And I went to take it in to get the screen replaced, and I only paid like $250 for the phone at the time. And they wanted $200 to replace the screen. I said, I only paid $250 for the phone. I said, no, I'm good. I said, and then I actually was going to go buy another phone. And then when I called Amazon, they were like, oh, well, you had bought the $6 insurance on it. I was like, did I? I was like, I don't remember doing that. And they were like, well, since it's the cost of the phone is the cost to replace the screen, we're just going to give you your money back for it. So they ended up just refunding me for it. So I didn't even realize, I completely had forgotten I purchased a little cheapy insurance on it.
Yeah.
So no, it's not an upper management test, Daisy. It's just a test because since I'm messing around with gas lines and stuff, you have to, I guess they want you to know what
It's
you're doing.
it's almost like a certification.
Right. You have to, the lady has to come all the way down, or all the way from up in North Carolina. She has to come down here just to certify me. So
Hey, Dre, how you doing?
what's up, Dre? Oh, Dre, your comment on Facebook the other day was hilarious. Me and my wife were laughing at it. Yeah, Mike's been pumping out videos left and right. I haven't had a chance to watch any of them because I've
Well,
been so
did you
busy
hear
this
the
week.
latest?
Uh-uh.
His dog cam came off the puppy out in a big field, and he's been looking for it for a couple of days. It can't.
Oh, it fell off Albert.
Yep.
Oh man. Sucks. You need to put a dog. You know what he should do in the future is put an air tag on one of them. Like put an air tag on it, because those
Yep.
air tags, those Apple air tags, if he has an Apple phone, you'd have to have one of those in order to use it. But they'll actually pinpoint down to like within a foot of where it's at. So you can actually follow your phone.
Either that, or it would be nice just to have a tether hooked to the dog's collar, so that if it did come off, it'd be attached to the dog,
Well, and that's the thing is you think, because I think he probably uses what, a GoPro.
I
assuming.
think it was. I
You
didn't
would,
I didn't know it was a GoPro or a 360.
well, you would think with those, even with the GoPros, you would, I don't know if they do, but they should have some kind of tracking built into them, as expensive as those are, and what people use them for, like out in the, out doing all these crazy sports with them and stuff. You think they would put trackers and like a GPS tracker thing inside of them, so if you lose it, you can try to find it. Because some of those GoPros are like $600, $700, $800.
Yes.
They're not cheap at all. Yeah, it's a safety test, Daisy. There's actually only half of this is mine because we printed out a second copy for the other new guy. I figured I'd get him a copy. So it's 50, I want to say 100 pages. I think it was 200 pages altogether. So I have to read 100 of these. So yeah, it's going to be fun this weekend. I'm going to have a blast doing that, spending my weekend reading through that. What's up, Steve?
Steve Carpenter, how you doing?
And I'm sure I'll see most of you tonight later on around 8 when Jim goes live, if he goes live tonight.
He goes on at 8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I figured. We'd stick around here at about 7:30, 7:45. Send everybody over there.
Oh, what my buddy Connor that works with me, somebody it was a Ford delivery car from the Ford dealership.
Yeah.
He was at the person in front of him they were coming up to a light and it was turning yellow, and the person in front of him slammed on his brakes. So he slammed on his brakes, didn't run into them. But then the Ford guy behind him was looking down. He said, Connor said, I looked up in the mirror at a split second. I could see him looking down with his phone and he boom right in the back of him.
Oh,
Luckily, all it did was take the bottom bumper of the Jeep off, so it's still drivable. It didn't
Yeah.
knock the tail lights out or anything. But
hey, here he comes now.
here comes President Dre.
Here comes. Look, now, doesn't he look, Dre, you could be president of the United States.
Yeah, look at he's always
He's
professional.
always presidential, isn't he?
Well,
You got my, Dre, you got my vote. You got my vote, Dre. You got my vote.
Yeah. So continue on, Jess. I want to hear about your testing.
Oh, it's it's pretty much just covers like all the what I would deal with doing leak survey for
Mhm.
the gas company. And then she has to come down and like she'll meet me at like just a random site. It might be behind a Walmart or something. And I have to show her that I know how to do everything. And then she'll give me like a little written test right there. I haven't had a chance to read through because she just emailed it to me last night and printed it out today. So
Well, Justin, there's got to be some regulations, like if you're marking lines or whatever, how to mark them properly so that everybody knows what they are and how
oh
far apart.
well, when you're locating, you're supposed to do it. Well, our rules are 10 feet apart and between the flags and the markings.
Right.
And then you have to be within 2 feet of the gas line on either side for you to have your butt covered if somebody hits it. So if you're like 6 feet off from where it's actually at,
And a
And then
backhoe goes.
yeah, then you're in trouble. If you're within 2 feet of either side of the gas line, guess what? That's a $20,000-$30,000 mistake for them. Because it's 20-30 grand when you bust one of those lines. I couldn't believe how expensive it was. Because they have to send a whole team out and then it has to be investigated and everything because it's, high pressure lines. It's a lot of, it's pretty crazy. Like I said, we got called out last week to they were like, oh, somebody hit a line with the backhoe. We were like, okay. So me and my boss rushed out there. 3 guys from FPU, from the Florida Public Utilities, rushed out there. We get out there. It was a lady's pilot light went out on her hot water heater. But
Oh, wow.
somehow it got to, she smelled gas to a backhoe hit a main line and busted it.
Wow.
So something got lost in translation there. So there's like 5 cars out there, and my boss's, and 3 FPU trucks out there, all for a pilot light being out in the lady's house.
Wow. Steve was just asking the question about how it is here, and I'll show you the local hotspot. That's what's going on here. Not.
Looks like they still have Christmas decorations up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Justin, I say gas lines are expensive, but fiber optic lines will get people fired.
Well, see, that's what we're actually been marking a lot out for, because there's crews all over our county right now, and that's what they're installing is fiber optic cable everywhere.
Yeah, because I said you nick a fiber optic line, the backhoe operator usually gets fired, the spotter gets fired, and then they'll usually hire them back in a couple of days, but they might be sitting at home for a couple of weeks.
Well, that's what happened to me. Weren't I on a live with you, Paul, one morning, and my internet just cut out?
Yep.
And that's what happened. Was a backhoe guy about a mile from my house was digging and hit the fiber optic line and cut out half the city's internet.
Yep. And that's why I say people get fired, or at least sent home for a couple of weeks to think about it and stuff, because it's about at least almost $100 grand to splice them back together.
Yeah, it's not a cheap fix.
You know,
Well, Dre, maybe you know, is fiber optic, would that use the same equipment he's using for finding gas lines?
no,
Okay.
no. I'm not sure if he's using a. We used to use the same thing for sewer lines. I forgot what it's called. Basically, it's a little guys go out and look for metal detectors, like a detector, and they'll go out there and make a little beeping noise, beep, 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 to your close as possible. And like you said, you might be 6 inches off either way, depending if you don't have any other interference that cause you to be farther away.
Well,
So
the way we do it now is because they've gone to plastic on a lot of the lines, so you can't detect them like that. What they do is, those markers that are up out of the grounds that say gas line?
yeah.
Well, right in the top of them, if you pop the cap off, there's a cable there. And
Mhm.
what they do is they run that cable along the whole entire gas line. And then what you do is you hook up this electrical box to it, and it sends an electric signal through that line. And then you have a meter that you walk over the ground with, and it tells you exactly where it's at.
Yeah, it picks up the
Yeah.
metal in the ground. It's the same thing. Like same thing with when you're looking up, like I say, sewers or drains, storm drains. It picks up the metal sensors that are placed along the pipe and stuff, and that thing will come in. It'll guide you along and stuff, and make sure you're pretty as close as possible. But like I say, if you come across other utilities or other things that might be buried in the ground that's metal, it can cause the system to go off. That's why you say you can be off 4 or 6 feet. That's why you
Mhm.
can be off that far and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Steve
really-
said he found a situation. Yep.
I thought they figured that out like a week or two ago. They haven't fixed it yet.
No, he said he thought it was a node card, but he said they found a kink in the line. That's almost like I remember when it's been almost 20 plus years when they were first bringing in HD TV into my area as far as why. And I had cable back then, and come to find out, the cable from the main line into my house had an issue. I could get maybe about a handful of stations fine. Well, some main channels where the signal was too strong, and the picture would be almost scrambled on my TVs in the house.
Oh, wow.
The signal was too strong, and because they had kinks in the line, and it was overloading the so
Interesting.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah, 'cause-
how's your aerials coming? You were working on what, time lapse or just general
No, it just,
recording of how?
I had a job out in Norco, California. Was that Saturday morning? And then
Uh-huh.
I did one late yesterday. My monthly recycling stockpile report late yesterday afternoon after work. Had to go by there. I just had barely enough time to get in because sunset comes right about 4:55 now, and
Yeah.
I finished up around 4:45.
Oh, good,
So,
good.
yeah,
You
so I got-
you timed that well, Dre.
Yeah, like I say, being a repetitive site, not a whole lot to go through. Just kind of set it up, do your checks, and let it go. So that was made it nice. Made it
Now,
nice.
what are you flying on those jobs?
I usually fly my Phantom Pro,
Okay,
Phantom 4 Pro. I have two of them. One, main one, and one's the back. I usually rotate them in and out. Half the year I'll use one, put that on the shelf, break the other one out for the rest of the year.
okay.
So I don't run the batteries a lot. Too many cycles on one set of batteries and everything else. So
Yeah,
and I'm thinking about another week. If nothing else pops up, the blue, I have another big Amazon job out in Beaumont, California, which is heading out towards Palm Springs to do that facility and stuff. So
great, great.
I've got to just hope the weather cooperates. That's this time of year is we get the winds,
Yeah,
and that's
windy.
the biggest thing. The
That's
wind
what
is
that's
always
what
a big thing.
I have a lot of wind here in
Mhm.
Michigan, being on the lake.
Right.
Hey, there's Steve.
Hi
There
there.
he is. Mr.
Hello,
Carpenter.
Paul. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, sir.
Yeah,
Justin.
we're
Dre?
just chilling here. Dre's telling us about his flying, and And Justin was telling us about his big test. The test is like that thick, the reference material. Look at that baby.
Yeah. Got some studying to do.
You
So how
know,
are you doing, Steve?
I'm sorry.
How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. Like I said, I'll find out how we're doing here. I just ran a test on it, and on Saturday the guy stopped by, but I was still having problems on Sunday, and they must have ended up replacing the network card. But they had, over the past week, 5 trucks all over this, where we call it the Palisades. So if you're looking at this picture behind us, but if you,
Yep.
it's behind me over here, it's the same thing up on the hill, and it's some homes, but I'm on the inland side of the freeway. Every single home on the inland side of the freeway is on one node for the whole entire area up there for Cox communication. So your television, your internet.
The whole bundle.
And no one had turned anything in, but this guy, when he was all done, was kind enough to come to the house and say, "Hey, I think I found the problem." So
well, you think a big area like that, they'd have been getting hundreds of calls from
Bless you.
people. Were
Hey,
they
no
not
one, because
Wow.
it's the upload speed. The download speed can hold on, and because I got gigabit, which means you can get a max, supposedly a max of 940 down, and minimum of 35 up. And I would be on there, and I'd be sitting there looking at maybe 100 to 140 down, on the other shows I'd step onto, and it would go somewhere between around 5 o'clock, right about there, and then continue on for 4 hours or more with an upload speed of less than 1 megabit.
So we got everybody else coming home, turning on their TVs and putting on their computers at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that shouldn't affect the upload speed. That's where it was. I can get by with even 100 and some download. Like right now, I just did a speed test to a server in Los Angeles, which would be about, say, 50 miles from where I'm at. And I'm showing a ping of 12 milliseconds, 893.66 down, and 36.98 up.
Yeah.
Well, I do.
You'd be surprised at how many gamers you have in your neighborhood, which requires a lot of upload and download, where they're playing on those PS5s.
Oh yeah, they got the goggles on
Xbox and everything else.
It wasn't that. It was they were backfeeding stuff onto the line. There were no filters
Mhm.
on their system, and whatever equipment they had, it was backfeeding power onto the line.
Oh,
Not one, but 4 different places.
Yeah, because I do really good with I average about 190 to 220. Was it up or down? And then I get about 12 to 15 up. And that's really good for me. I mean, I've never had no issues with it since they fixed mine. That runs really good. So
And it I don't know, it just started happening about 2 months ago. And I don't know unless they were up there on that pole, because the one technician, he's the fiber optics specialist. The rest deal with the coax side, because we're just all coax up here feeding to the homes. We don't have fiber to the home in our area because it's old infrastructure over here. And he said that it just surprised him because the way the card was sitting in, they have these like long plastic cylinders up on the poles, for telephone. You'll see them in cable. Dre's familiar with it.
yeah.
But the node cards sit up inside that plastic hub. And then when they come in, there must have been, instead of doing a real nice coil with the fibers going in, it was one little kink right before it. And if you've got a kink, I mean, you can get a kink in fiber, and the further away it is, the better it is. But when it's up close next to the connector, that signal just bounces and spatters against it. But I go, well, what's the problem then? If it's only happening at a certain time, that would happen all the time.
the RDLM that I use, the gas detector that I use, it actually has a 3-foot fiber optic line, and I have to be really careful when I'm using the machine because I can't twist it. I have to pull the machine out a certain way and put it on. Because
Yeah.
If I twist it anyway, I break that line, I gotta send it all the way back to Texas, and it takes a month to fix it. To get it fixed.
What, if you break a piece of fiber?
If I break the fiber optic cable in it, because what it is it's a box about this big with a strap that hangs over your shoulder. And then there's about a 3-foot fiber optic cable that runs to a huge laser gun that you hold. And so you got to be careful with that cable.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I would imagine that fiber optic, and Dre would probably know this. Dre, fiber optic cable is of course it's got the coating on the outside, but I envision it almost like a clear plastic. It's sending data.
It's
through.
glass.
And if
It's
you
glass.
crack
It's
it,
glass and breaks. I've installed tons of it as an electrical contractor. We installed a lot of fiber optics and data cable. Hello,
Yeah, 'cause
Ron.
because it moves information at the speed of light. If I'm not
Atta
correct,
boys.
right?
Hey,
Ron
Ron, how you
Lockwood.
doing? How's the ankle?
What's up, man?
Getting better each day. Still sore, but still bruised, but I'm getting around.
You got a little boo boo, Ron?
Yeah. I
Tell
have
him
a
the
little miss-
story. Tell him the story, Ron.
Fooling
It's
around
gonna
in
be
the
a
woods
good one.
again.
Yeah.
He
just-
was out in the back of the swamp.
I was deep in the woods in moose and bear country and fell through some ice and
Oh,
twisted
He
up my
went
ankle.
one way
pretty
and the
bad.
ankle stayed there, you know?
Yeah. And there were a few choice words said and
But the bad
Yeah.
part, Dre, is he was 2.5 to 3 miles away from his truck.
yeah.
well, I was why he said a couple of bad words. I think the least he said that water's cold.
Hey, wait a second. Did you have phone communication?
No.
Oh,
Mhm.
I say you could call work and said, "Hey, I need a lift out of here."
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I was trying to convince Ron to get a satellite phone. I
A
said,
sat
as much
phone,
as
yeah.
I said,
Yeah,
as
my
much as
partner
you
was
are
talking
out
to me
there.
about that last night too. Yeah, she actually has one. She was telling me the different data plans, and they're actually not too bad.
Well,
yeah.
especially when you're laying in the woods, 2.5 miles away from your, and you
Mhm.
said that what went through your mind is how long would it take you to crawl out of there?
Mhm.
Because you limped out of there. It took you what, 2.5 hours?
About 2.5, 3 hours. I got out. It was dark.
Mm.
I came out. Thank God I kind of somewhat knew my way out.
And Dre, what caused him the accident to happen was he heard something rustling in the bushes,
Yeah, behind me. Who knows what it was?
like a bear or something.
And I'm glad Ron didn't turn around and try to investigate. He took the smart move and just kept going the opposite direction.
Yeah, but then he
With
with his gun pointing the direction of where he heard the noise.
Yeah.
That's
there you
exactly,
go.
yeah.
Yep.
My hand was on it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but he
You-
did the easy job for the animal. He injured himself.
You know what
Yeah.
you know what you should probably look for, even if you didn't get a sat phone, are the GPS detection by Magellan and other stuff, to where you can text and you can send emergency text messages out of it, and it's a locator, and they're a couple $100. They're not that bad, and the plans vary a little bit, but of what you want. But it can, especially if you wanted to let people know where you're at, it'll sit there and track you, and people can log
Yeah.
on and know exactly where you're at if you wanted to let people know.
Well, Steve,
Yeah,
we went online to look at sat phones because I always thought they were like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, and they're not anymore. They've come down.
No.
They're cheaper than an iPhone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
yeah,
they
some
were
of them
range-
are, well, there was that one real expensive one, but most of them are just a couple
Well,
$100, $300-$400.
Yeah.
Oh, that's real cheap.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
Ron gets the Magellan, we're going to be wondering why he's running through the woods at 40 miles an hour as the bear's dragging him along. Damn, Ron's moving through the woods quick.
Well, here I was giving you a hard time. Like, I think Ray Kelly had posted a video about a helicopter rescue on a guy on a bike. And I put in there, says, where's Ron Lockwood when we really need him?
He's out in the woods getting hurt.
He's out in the woods, needs some help himself.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't get to go home tomorrow. Yesterday was rough. Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Started at noon and I got back at 8:10 this morning. Yeah.
Oh, one
They're not-
nonstop, huh?
Had one guy hit by a bus. That didn't go well. I felt bad for this lady last night. She had a 19-day-old. She was going upstairs to bed and tripped and fell, and baby went down and slammed right on the hardwood floor, skull fracture, subarachnoid bleed. And then we had some chucklehead that thought, he finally asked me, how to forget how he asked me what I thought of something or whatever. And I said, well, I'd like to give you a public service announcement that lots of alcohol and sharp objects don't mix. He damn near cut his complete wrist off. He was sharpening knives, and he was
drunk.
He was hammered. We flew him to the Mayo Clinic in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Yeah.
And there was a surgeon standing there in the ER waiting for us as soon as we walked in the door. Come to me. So I don't know what his outcome will be, but yeah, alcohol and sharp objects.
Well,
Almost
maybe,
like
maybe he could try out for the new Captain Hook movie,
Very well could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dre,
but
they
those-
keep keeping you busy. So you're still the most
Like I
best
say,
dressed.
Truthfully, Ron, I should be a lot busier. We're going through another transition period. The guy who was going to be my boss, he quit 2 days before Christmas.
Hmm.
So I've been kind of like this, I guess, guiding the ship until we get a replacement
Right.
at this time. And the only thing sad about my position, I would say, is that I don't have an actual budget that I control. So any type of training I want to do, I have to go beg for the money from the different departments to kick it in. So unless they're on board or what I'm trying to oppose to them, it's like pulling teeth. I got to tell them, use the words, we got to be in compliance. We got to be in compliance. This is what, reduces our liability as a city. So that kind of twists their arm that they don't want to be the reason why the city gets sued or whatever because we're out of compliance.
Yeah.
Right.
So as I say, I'm just sitting here treading water until the new risk manager shows up for the city, and then I got to see what his agenda is going to be.
I'm
So
assuming.
are you going to apply for the position?
You know what, Steve? I thought about. I just didn't have it. They wanted somebody with 5 years of managerial experience in risk management, and I don't have the 5 years. They just said this 5 years and this experience period in management. I have that, but not in risk management.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I would think that in your case, Dre, you've been doing it now
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes. They'd say, okay, well, we'll waive that.
Well, this is why I look at it, Paul. If they didn't offer me the position as interim, they wanted to send somebody. They want to bring somebody in. That's what they can do. They can always say, well, we want you to be interim until we find somebody better. But they never asked me. So I'm like, okay. I always tell them, I'm at 4 years, 6 months. Keep it up. Draymond's gonna be tiptoeing right out the door.
Yeah, Rod, but you should look into one of those, like the Magellan and Garmin, on one of those tracking things, and you can let people know. And plus, you can send emergency texts out to it. And
Oh, we can do live tracking from Matt's channel.
yeah,
We'll live track Ron in the woods.
Well, the only thing is Ron he keeps everything on the down low pretty much. And so,
yeah, but he can
where-
send a text up in an
Yeah.
emergency. He can send a text out to a number, and I need help, and this is where I'm at. And you send it specifically to the system.
if you send it to the wrong person, though, they're liable to say, delete.
Yeah. Screw
Ron,
him.
Ron, who?
Yeah.
He didn't pick up my mail last week when I asked him to.
Mm.
The guys
Those are
that run the Nordhaven corporate office here for boats, they're slow trolling boat. They're made in Now it depends on which model. Some are made in Taiwan, some are made in Turkey. But they took one of those on board, one of the last corporate trips. Because anybody that comes on new to the company, they put them on the boat, and they have boats that are traveling all around the world all the time. And they want you on board so you can learn and know what it's about working for the company. And they have those on board besides, the electronics that are on board the boat on most of those. But it was great because they had it active. So it was, pinging every so often during the day, and you're keeping track of them where they're traveling.
Yeah. Somebody have a TV on? I hear female voices.
It's
I
my
heard it
daughter
too.
talking in the
Oh.
background.
His daughter talking.
Oh. Hey, Dre, you'd like this. This past weekend, our helicopter base, we were sharing the whole giant building with, God, I don't know how many other people, but anyway, long story short, we moved, the company finally bought their own hangar, so own facility. And a bunch of the people there work out. We've got a little bit of stuff at our base, but nothing like to what they had. Anyhow, the one pilot up there, he's a retired colonel. Used to fly Blackhawks in the military, and he's pushing 60. This guy is built like oh my God, he's in shape. Anyhow, long story short, he had some leftover equipment up there. I was up there on my last shift. I worked about 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, "You don't want this?" He goes, "No, we're probably going to get rid of it." And I'm like, "I'll take it." It's a full rack. You can do. It's all set up for squats.
Yeah.
I got a bench with it, bench press. It has the center post for doing, your lats and whatever. It has it's a really nice, expensive bench. It has the 2 pieces for leg extension, leg curls. And he said, I'll tell you what, Ron, he goes, I'll throw in a Olympic weight bar for $30. So I got that whole setup, and I wouldn't price that over at like one of the sporting goods stores. I'm like $500-600.
Wow.
And then I went out and bought weights. Holy crap, did I have a sticker shock?
Yeah.
Wow. Woo! Good
Yeah.
Lord. I can't believe the price of weights. Unbelievable.
Metal is through
Yeah.
the roof.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was, but I luckily I had $150 gift certificate to this one sporting goods store. Somebody got me like 3 years ago for Christmas, and I found it the other day. And I'm like, holy crap, I forgot I had this.
Oh, wow. Lucky you.
Yeah, so I went to the store and it used it up real quick.
I remember you mentioning that a couple months ago that you were looking for that in your truck.
Mhm.
Yep.
You wanted to use it and you couldn't find it.
Christmas
Yeah.
in January.
Mr. Paul, I'm gonna dip out because it's almost time for me to go home.
Okay, Dre. Hey, thanks for popping in, buddy.
Not
See
a
you,
problem.
Dre.
I appreciate the offer as always, and Steve and Ron and Justin and those in the chat.
And Dre, if you get a text message from Ron, please answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will now because he may be as we say. I'll be polite and say waist deep in something.
There you go.
Guys, take care.
Okay,
All
You
right,
too,
buddy.
Dre. Drive careful
Bye.
going home.
See you, man. Let me refresh the coffee here, guys.
every time I see Dre, I think he could be very presidential. You know, he could.
He's the best dressed man on YouTube.
He
Yeah, that's for
Without a
sure.
doubt.
His casual wear is better than my dress wear.
is. Yeah. Yeah, the other day he was on and he had a 3-piece suit on and everything, and the
Yeah.
the hanky puffing up out of
Oh
the-
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he gets all duded up.
He's the dresser. That's right. But he pulls it off well. It's not like you take and try and put a rose around a thorn, you know. He pulls it off well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Jody's saying hi to everybody. And what's up, Marcel?
Hey, Jody.
Hey, Jody, Phantom Hodges is here as well.
Is he visiting Bonnie right now or something?
He got invited up. Somebody got a deer, and so he's the master butcher. So he went over to their house, and they've been butchering this deer up, and tonight was grinded up for making deer meat burgers, and the guy's wife was going to have pork chops and all the fixings, all the trimmings for him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, good.
You know, my mom does that once a year. She'll go buy a cow, and then the butcher will do it for her and takes a quarter of it and then gives her 3/4 of it. He takes a quarter for his like fee for doing it. And then he does everything for her and cuts it up. And then she has enough meat to get her through a year or so. She just vacuum seals everything, puts it in a deep freezer.
Yeah.
They do it around here, a general average, you know, cut up your chops, your couple roasts, your back straps and burger. Looking at about $150 for a deer at the local butchers.
Mhm.
It's not cheap.
No.
Well,
Well,
what
it's-
Paul gets called if there's a deer hit by a car.
Mhm.
So he goes out and he says he was amazed. Now the deer was full of blood, but there wasn't a bad piece of meat on that deer anywhere.
Yeah.
This got hit right and then bled out inside, you know?
Yeah. I think here in Wyoming, if you find a freshly hit deer, you can call the game warden. And I think they'll come out and just like issue you a tag or something, and you can go ahead and take it if you want.
Yeah. Well, Paul's in Ontario, so there's a lot of deer there too. They get clobbered, and they're just as happy they don't have to deal with it, you know?
Yeah, I know here if any wild animals like deer or something like that, or poached fish and stuff like that from anywhere up and down the coast, all that gets donated to these rescue children's home. And they'll drive it out there and drop it off. And, you know, especially if it's a deer gets hit, because it's called Santiago Canyon. And it's through a canyon area just inland off the major freeways.
Right.
So we get deer through there. I mean, we get wild deer all over the place. So they get hit every once in a while, and they'll take it over there and they'll take it in for the kids. And, you know, there it's going to a good cause, you know.
Right.
Yeah, we do a lot of that here. A lot of our hunters, they're trophy hunters. They don't want the meat, but they will be nice enough we'll go to the butcher. They pay for the processing, but then we have a list down there that my boss designates. Hey, you know, send it to this family, you know, whatever, and we donate the meat.
Paul Hodges in the chat says, "I'm ready for another one."
Yeah.
Well, butchers, you know, that's a special skill in itself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It is.
because even back in the old times, like in the West and stuff, you know, if you didn't have an experienced butcher, they would waste a lot of meat because they didn't know how to properly cut everything up and all that. And there would be a lot of meat get wasted because of it.
Yeah. My
Eric
good friend.
says Michigan's the same way as it is in Ontario. Okay, Eric.
My good friend my friend that's on auction and disabled, he got an elk, an antelope, and a deer this year. And I've been going up, and every day he asks me, "Ron, do you want anything?" I'm like, "I'll take some more elk." I'll tell you, elk meat is really good. I've been taking the burger and making meatballs and stuff. It's really, really good. I took a couple roasts. I have a pressure cooker. That thing is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I took a big roast the other day, and I put in 2 cans of French onion soup, regular onions, some celery, carrots, some red potatoes, and some steak seasoning. And I cooked it for about a half an hour, and I took it to work. Oh my God, the guys were loving it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Marcel, what Mike was talking about is the camera, the little GoPro that he puts on Albert, his dog. His
You
dog
probably
lost it.
you go to Mike's channel and he's got pictures where Albert's running around and everything, and he's got the camera on his back. Well, evidently Albert ran into something and knocked it off his back. And so it's out in this field someplace, and he's been looking for it for a couple of days.
You can't find it.
Sheared the camera right off. The dog didn't duck under the underpass, huh?
Well, what happened, one of the pictures that I saw was Albert was on this, it's like a wooden walkway through, not a swampy, but a woodsy kind of place. And so here's Albert standing on there, but when he went on, he went underneath, there was ropes,
Mhm.
halfway above, below the railings. And so I think he jumped up on there and snatched it right off right there somewhere.
No, he said it fell off the magnetic mount. My fault. I should have rubber banded it on.
Oh, okay.
But like I was telling Paul earlier, as expensive as those GoPros and all that are, you think they would put a GPS thing in there like the cell phone.
Locator?
Yeah, where you could track it if you lost it. Especially since a lot of people use them for outdoor sports and stuff. That would just make sense. Because that would help a lot with some of these FPV guys that don't have the GPS modules on there, and then their FPV drone will take off and fly a mile away, and all of a sudden they can't find it anywhere if they were, if the
Good evening,
GoPros.
Johnny Drone Flyer. Johnny's in the
What's up, Johnny?
in the chat. Yeah, Mike's got some great footage. I'm a dog lover myself, and so I just chuckle when I see that dog going through running around, and the camera's on his back.
Yeah, I'd love to have a dog again. One of these days.
Well, you got to take it one
Thanks.
step at a time, Ron. You got your ex coming for a visit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now that's this coming weekend.
Couple days.
Right.
Yeah, your problem is you're just out of town too much to have a dog. Huh?
I am. Yeah. Yeah, too much of a gypsy lifestyle.
Well, and the other thing too is your work is. In other words, like, if you had a really good companion dog, like a German Shepherd or something, but you can't take him in the copter, you can't take him in the plane, so he'd be
Yeah.
stuck someplace.
We did have back home, we had a local cop that was breeding his shepherd, and one of our pilots bought one of the puppies. And being that we weren't physically inside, we were in a building 50 yards from the hospital, we got away with a lot of stuff down there we shouldn't have done. But anyhow, he got permission from the boss, and he brought her in every day. I'll tell you what, that was the best well-behaved dog.
Yeah.
Oh, she was, and all he'd have to tell her every day is like, "You ready to go to work?" And she would get all excited. And she knew, you sit there and think about, you got 15, 20 different employees. She knew who was who.
Yep.
And when she seen me, the instant she saw me, she would bolt from my locker, because
Yep.
she knew inside that locker was goodies.
Bribing the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, every time we would get a flight dog, we had a big giant kennel for any person in the whole group could, as soon as the radios went off, you just tell her kennel, and she would go right up to and get in her kennel. We'd close the door and she'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was a great
well-behaved.
dog. Yeah. Yes.
So Nancy's coming?
Ooh, no.
No?
Oh no. Oh no.
This
girl
is a
from
California girl.
Oh, the old ex.
Good thing
We
the
have-
other one wasn't in the house with him just now. He'd been like, "Who the fuck's Nancy?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Get Ron in trouble.
No, she knew about Nancy. She's dated off and on too,
Yeah.
but the weird thing with us is just the first day is kind of awkward, when we haven't seen each other. I haven't seen her for almost a year and a half.
Mhm.
Talk a lot, but after that first day, it's almost like we never
Never split up.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Is
Well,
her mom?
Ron, are you going to take her hot tubbing?
Yeah, it's a possibility. That's a little
There
bit of
you
a drive.
go.
Yeah.
You really want to get him in trouble, Paul.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, don't let Matt catch wind of him in the hot tub again. He's gonna want him to go live.
Yeah.
So is
That
her
was
mother
cool.
still giving her crap?
Oh, yeah. I just talked to mom about 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Her
yeah?
mom's great. Yeah. Her mom, she always told me, she's like, Ron, if I ever wanted another son-in-law, you're top on the list. know. But she knows Michelle she'll never get married again.
Mhm.
And I wanted to marry her, and she'll never do it. So it is what it is. And you know what? We have so much fun though. She likes to do so many things I like to do. Give that girl a gun. Oh my God. She goes crazy. The first time I ever shot her or showed her how to shoot a scope rifle.
Mhm.
Oh, she was like a little Sarah Palin. Matter of fact, I
Really?
started calling her that. Oh yeah. I think I got a picture somewhere.
Better be careful.
I know.
Oh, what was it? Was 100 yards, wasn't it? You got
Yeah, laying prone. Yeah, here it is. If you look where her finger's at, and this little pink dot, there are 3 bullets inside of there. It's kind of hard to see, but
3 dots and that little red dot.
yeah, that one dot where her finger is, there's 3
Yeah.
bullet holes in there
Holy crap. At 100 yards?
Yep.
at 100 yards. Yeah, she emptied out 2 boxes of my ammunition. I'm like, hey, that stuff ain't cheap.
I don't
No,
even have
she
a
loves to
home
shoot, loves the motorcycle ride. And she's just another goofball. The one time she was there, we went around to all the presidents in Rapid City. There's a statue of every president up until Obama, but she would like imitate them. Like here's the one here where she liked Ronnie Reagan.
Mhm.
So yeah, she's a lot of fun, but it is what it is. And oh, here's what she did to Abe Lincoln. Got him all excited.
Little pose in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's good natured. She's willing to
is.
try anything, right?
Yeah.
yeah. I remember the one. I think I told you, Paul, the other day. We were at a wedding and there was no alcohol involved. And I'm a couple of minutes. I'm like, where the hell did she go? It's an outdoor wedding,
Uh-huh.
and I hear all this splashing. I turn around, look. The entire bridal party is in the pool, including the bride and groom, fully clothed. I look, and there she is in her little black dress in the pool, and she's like, "Come on." Okay. So
And
suit
Ron's
and
all
tie.
dressed up. Yep.
I was looking like dressed up like Dre, and I'm like, I just jumped right in the water. What the hell? So, yeah, it was a fun night.
Well, the two of
It's
you
so-
could probably have a ball all on your own.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah.
He told the Tux rental company it was wet when I rented it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when's she coming in?
She'll be here Friday,
Oh, okay. For how long?
till next Thursday.
Oh,
A
almost
week.
Mm. Yeah.
Anybody taking any bets how long it's going to take the smile to be wiped off Ron's face afterwards?
Yeah.
A
Might be a
while.
few days. Might be a few
while.
days.
Oh, I would say a month or 2.
A while.
Oh, the hardest part is him having to take her back to the airport.
That is
That's-
it's very tough. Last trip, it was in the summer, and there was a really bad lightning storm around Denver, and that's where her connection was, and her flight was completely canceled. And she turned, she was getting all sobbery, and then all of a sudden she turned to me and she said, "I'm not unhappy. This flight is canceled. Let's go back home."
Whoa.
Yeah. But no, she just she loves the outdoors, loves 4-wheeling, loves motorcycle riding. The only thing she don't like is my hunting. She don't care for that.
Doesn't like killing Bambi, huh?
No, she likes critters, but I know she'll get a hoot feeding those deer.
Oh,
off my back
yeah.
Oh,
porch.
yeah.
Don't take her in your computer room, Jesus. Don't let her see what's on the walls in there.
On the wall.
She's seen them already.
Yeah.
Don't go in that room. Whatever
She's
you do,
seen the-
don't go in there.
Yep.
She's seen those in a couple places.
Yeah, we've done so much. And I just, sometimes I go back and look at all the pictures and man, we've just, been to places and taken trips and, a lot of fun. But you know what? Life's short. Opportunity struck me and I'm like, yeah, let's get together. We'll have a great week.
Yeah,
She just texted me 15 minutes ago saying, I can't wait to get there Friday.
there
Yeah,
you
me
go.
too.
Yeah, Marcel is in the chat. He is determined to find Mike's camera.
Mike's camera, yeah.
Mm.
Well, Marcel is the hunter. You know, he's been
Oh, yeah.
hunting for his drone now for what, a month?
That's what I'm saying. He's having flashbacks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He lost a drone in a
It was his long
like a
range
small
quad.
stream or something.
Yeah, it was his long range quad.
Yep, and he can't find it to this day.
That's like Sean Oz lost his action camera on the stream.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, all he had to do was look for the melting hole from that freaking thing. It was like hot as lava when it heated up.
I told him he should have put a fishing line leader on it with a quick click disconnect and put it around a rope in case it would have gone. You know, the camera would have been okay. It's waterproof, but the water was been really flowing well back. What was it? It's been almost 2 years now, but he put it right on the edge of where it was. And that must have either water lapped up against it, knocked it over or something, but he came back to grab it after he was just letting it run. Came back, and no camera. It's gone.
Oops. Turn on the light
Well,
here.
think about it. You're going, and too, when you're in the snow, if you say you're going down the hill on a snowboard in real deep snow, and all of a sudden your GoPro or something falls off into the snow, you'll probably never find it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like Marcel's idea about a rake, but it's too bad it doesn't look, the tines are a little wider and not quite as wide as it is as the camera, but you know, because the tines on a rake are only what, about an inch or so. So you're raking a lot of snow, but if you could get down in there,
Oh, it's in the snow.
yeah.
Well, and two, it's like how far did Albert cover though, too? That's the thing.
Well, Albert is a roamer.
That's what I'm saying. So that might be a big area. You might be searching for a minute.
Yeah.
You might just follow the doggy tracks.
Are those Action 360 cams? Are those waterproof? I'm assuming they are, aren't they?
Some, yeah, my Insta361 is, it's waterproof.
I'm assuming it is if he's looking for it. So
I'd say almost every action camera out there is anymore. Pretty close.
Or it could be like Jake Sloan when he was flying along the edge of that lake, right on the glacier for him. Do you remember the one winter he went in there and he lost it, went in the drink, came back later in the summer, picked it on up, and was able to recover the drone with the camera on it. He
Wow.
opened it up,
Wow.
and the camera, he had to open it up. The camera's okay. Took it out, put a new battery in it, and all the footage was there and still intact in it.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, there's a diver guy I watch on YouTube, and he dives near docks and stuff all the time, and he finds freaking bucket loads of GoPros, and they're always in those little waterproof cases, and he'll turn them on,
Mhm.
and he'll go through them, and he'll try to figure out whose they are, and he'll
Mhm.
actually return the stuff to the people if he can figure out whose it is, and he'll post some of the stuff on YouTube so they can see their pictures,
Mhm.
and he'll be like, reach out to me if this is yours. But he finds GoPros all the time. He finds iPhones, all kinds of crap.
Well, right there, the screen down that side and
Yeah.
at the other side, on all those, they have a annual cleanup every year. They'll be pulling like 2,000 pounds of crap out of the water, from shopping carts to toilets to cameras to glasses to phones, you name it, it ends up in the water.
Probably a few bodies here and there.
No, but I did it twice. I dove twice over here to help out. Out on the far side, on this side. We were doing it on this side over in there years back. And we ended up with just over a ton of stuff in 6 hours.
We went to the beach a couple of years ago and the seaweed was like really bad on the edge of the water and it was catching everything.
Mhm.
Sure, I think I found probably 15 pairs of goggles, 3 or 4 pairs of sunglasses.
Yeah.
Like by the end of the day, we had like a whole bucket load of crap that we found that was just caught in seaweed on the edge of the water.
Except my sunglasses.
Well, I know the mouth of the, what they call it's a San Juan Creek, which if I was sitting where I'm at, my drone is pretty close to it. Doheny State Beach is right where it'd be, not behind me, but if I was looking out that way,
Yeah.
the opposite way here. So if I'm going that way, right now, they had a cleanup over there that the county went out there, and because it's county beach area right there by it, they ended up picking up like in the neighborhood of almost 1,000 pounds of masks that have
Oh,
been
the-
flooding. Yeah, the
Surgical mask?
yeah, the Rona masks.
Wow.
Up over here, and they said so far on the coast in California, they picked up over 1 billion. That's 1 billion masks off the shore coast.
That's amazing.
People are something else.
Well, you saw the big thing, the big effort on YouTube about a month ago when they were doing that, where they were trying to raise $100 million or something. And they got that big old ocean cleanup project they're doing right now.
Oh, for the plastic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mr. Beast, the big
yeah.
YouTuber.
Mr. Beast did it.
Yeah, they. I don't know what their grand total was, but last time I checked it, I think it was at like $50 or $60 million
Yeah,
that they had raised. So all the big YouTubers are doing it. But it was like for every $1 million they raised, it was like 1 million pounds of trash they were taking out.
a dollar
Or
a
some-
dollar a pound is what
Yeah,
was the recovery rate they were going to get credit for.
but they were actually out there doing it. It wasn't no scam or nothing. They had a bunch of boats out there that were using this new technology to pull trash out, and they were pulling it out by the bucket or by the freaking. They were,
Mhm.
I don't know, by like the truckloads.
Hello, Marshall.
What's up, Marshall?
Well, what they've done around here is they created skimmers like in the harbor, because you can see how the harbor is like way back out over there. That's Dana Point. That's the point up over there. But the way the current is the current does a turning like this as it's coming down. So it comes in the mouth of the harbor, and the mouth of the harbor would be this way, right out over here. And in the corners, over in here and up on the other side and over in here and over in here, they've got these like skimmers. And what they do is it just takes the natural water, and it's solar, and it just pumps the water in. And these skimmers are like creating a small current. So as the current flow goes in and out naturally, it catches this stuff and it picks up all the paper cups and lids and bottles and
Cigarette
not all,
butts.
but yeah,
Cigarette butts and everything.
and
Yeah.
it's just floating in the water, which is kind of cool.
Hey, here comes Mr. Hodges.
With
You-
knife.
Oh,
knife
all
in
right,
hand.
cool. What's happening, guys?
Happening, Paul?
You look like you just had a good dinner or something.
Oh man, I got a full belly. Oh, she did pork chop, breaded pork chops. I had scalloped potatoes, peas, hot cross buns for dessert. Oh yeah.
Wow.
You know, it was nice to have somebody cook for me instead.
You got all your deer ground up now?
Yep. Yeah, we got 46 pounds of hamburger, 14 pounds of stew and meat, and it's a few steaks and tenderloins and stuff. But
I was telling Ron that there wasn't a bad piece of meat on that deer,
no,
was it?
nowhere. There were 3 broken ribs, but there was no bruising. That's the weird, funny thing about it. But when you open the belly up, it just it was just full of blood. So what happened? It got lightly tapped, and then it just bled out. Couldn't get back up. So
did you get any meat out of it, or did you just do the dinner if we were doing it?
oh no, we split the meat, me and the other guy.
Oh,
No,
awesome.
no. It's my meat grinder, my vacuum sealer, my bags, everything. But it's okay. Like they put on a meal for me, and it's a shared thing. So, and like I used to hang him here, but it's easier because he's out in the country and he's got a big pole barn. But what I did is set up a boat winch with the cables and a couple of pulleys, and now we just winch him up. Before you had to try and lift him up, the guy was trying to tie it, and oh, what a pain in the ass that was. So anyway, so now we got a little processing place set up out at his place there. So
Well, Ron's going to be doing a little deer hunting this Friday.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ron,
go
Ron,
ahead in your yard.
yeah,
Ron,
two-legged deer.
Do you know how to
His little
butcher,
hunt's
or,
coming.
or do you have to get somebody to do it for you?
No, I'm not real good at it. I can skin a deer and, cut up, the different portions and whatnot. But no, I'm not real good at that.
What, butchering?
Yeah.
Well,
That's an
I
art.
don't like. If you don't like the way I butcher, don't eat it. There's ways I look at it, but I'm not a butcher by any means. I can cut roast. I can cut some steaks. I cut butterfly chops out of the back straps, right? You know
Yeah.
what they are. You just cut them about inch and
Oh,
a half
yeah.
thick, and then just slice them down so they fold out.
Yeah. That's
But
the best part of the deer.
yeah, oh, the back
Back
strap.
strap.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This deer was maybe 2 years old, so pretty young deer. So the nice tender meat. The only thing is we couldn't hang it because it was too cold. It would have been a block of ice within a matter of hours.
Wow.
So as soon as we got it, I skinned it out. Well, I skinned it and gutted it and everything else, and I just carve off the legs and hand them to him, and they were taking them in the house. But he's got a room that's really cold, like right close to freezing, but it doesn't freeze. And then cut the rest of the meat off, put it on trays and stuff, and then last night we got it Sunday, so last night we spent 4 hours last night cutting it all up, and tonight all we had to do was just grind the hamburger. It was already cut up into cubes and everything, so all we had to do was grind and bag it tonight. So
See, I've only ever had venison twice. My friend made little fried nuggets for me.
oh
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
my friend's dad did breakfast one morning and made me a steak with some over easy eggs to dip it in. That was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Well, and there's almost 2 types of deer around here. The deer that are around here, they eat corn, hay, grass. They're just like cattle around here. Okay. But if you go another 50 miles north, they eat swamp grass, they eat conifer trees, all that. They get that real strong taste to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But down here, they're like cattle,
Yeah. Hey, Steve, is there any hunting that goes on in your area in Florida?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's limited real close to us like it used to be. We have called the Cleveland National Forest. It starts
Steve,
about a 12-mile drive from where I'm at.
I thought you were in California.
I've taken deer there years ago. I haven't hunted in years, but
Yeah,
we've gotten
Steve's
them
in-
from there.
Steve's in California. I misspoke.
Oh yeah,
I
'cause I was
I
gonna
thought he
say,
was in California.
I was like, when'd you move down to Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the blacktail out there, Steve, don't you?
Yeah,
Mostly
but
blacktail.
we got mule deer here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Now-
got whitetails here.
If you go further north, you got a lot of mule deer up in the Sierras and stuff like that. You get
Mhm.
Any moose out there in California?
no.
I don't think. A lot of black bear up in Northern California. That's some of the best black bear hunting in the nation,
Yeah.
Northern California.
Well, decades ago, where I live here now, where you see all these homes up on the bluff up there was nothing when we first moved to my folks first
Oh.
moved here. The whole hillside behind me was nothing but raw ground. I mean, we'd have mountain lions come through there, bobcats, even once was a bear came in over here because we have what it's called the Ortega Highway, which goes from inland where San Juan Capistrano is, where the mission is, and it crosses over the mountain range and it goes over to a place called Lake Elsinore. And it gets up to about, I'm trying to think how high it is. 30 some hundred feet. You hit the summit and then you drop down into what they call Lake Elsinore, a lake over there. But all that area is a Cleveland National Forest, and that was all open for hunting in there. Used to be.
Yeah. Remember, I rode my motorcycle up there for a couple months up in that area.
Mhm.
I can't remember the name. Julian was the name of the town.
Oh, you were way further. Yeah, that's down in San Diego, closer towards San Diego.
God, Steve, imagine if
Yeah.
your parents would have bought up a bunch of property back when it was probably barely worth anything when nobody was there.
Yeah.
God,
Whereabouts?
I'm talking
No,
about
he
like
says
where you're
if-
at now.
If you'd bought it,
Like if your parents would have bought up a
Parents
whole
had
bunch of
bought
that property.
Mhm.
As you said back when they moved there was nobody there really. Man, if you could go
Oh,
back
it
in
was,
time.
it was nothing. I mean, the price of this stuff, the house around the corner from us, it was an old home built in 1970. It's a ranch style home, kind of like a U shape and a pool like in the middle. And then out towards, it came out towards the street here. The lady passed away and it went on the market from the estate for like $640,000. And it needed a lot of work. They gutted the whole inside out and remodeled it, fixed it up, fixed up the outside and everything. They put it on the market for 1.3 million. And in 2 days, it sold 1,488 in 2 days, 188,000 over their asking price.
Wow.
It's ridiculous of what it is.
Because I've heard so many.
Paul Hodges is going through that right now in Canada, which is unbelievable.
Yeah. I still can't believe that one little house, Paul.
Yeah,
That one
$500
that,
million house. It's like a shack.
yeah.
Steve.
Oh my God.
Well,
It had
that's
like
if you'd have seen
one
this, that's
bedroom.
what it is. It's only 1,700 square feet.
This wasn't even that. What was that, Paul? It was,
1,200 square, 1,100
Wow.
square.
I don't even think it was that.
No,
Maybe.
I think
Yeah.
it was 900 if I
Not
don't
like
mine.
9 or something.
Yeah.
It sold
was incredible.
within 3 days of being listed for $400,000.
The shed was, the
Yeah.
garage was bigger than the house was. The
Yeah.
garage on the back of the property.
And the house
Wow.
was built like in the Paul, that house, the little shack house, what do you just say how old that was?
Oh, Jesus, gotta be old. No basement or just a
No
slab,
basement on a slab.
no furnace, and just a space heater in it.
Had a space heater.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
And it went for how much, Paul? 400,000?
400,000, 4 days.
4 days.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it ain't gonna be that way much longer. My prediction.
Hmm.
We're gonna see the housing crash of what everybody saw back in 1980. I mean, not 80, but 2008.
Yep.
It's gonna make that look like kindergarten.
Well, look what's happening in China right now too with their housing market.
Yeah.
Evergrande and all them, they're all defaulting on hundreds of millions and billions of dollars worth of foreign loans.
Yeah.
Right now. They're top like 20 or 30 companies for real estate because it's like 70% of personal investments in China is in real estate.
Mhm.
Oh,
Which
yeah,
is
but
a
it takes
huge
several
problem.
generations. It takes several generations to pay for a mortgage there.
Yeah, same way in Japan too.
But
Yeah.
this is the thing is people own apartments that don't actually exist. It's just a hollow shell building. And the apartments were never actually built inside. But what they're doing is building the outer shells of the buildings, or these sky rises, but you go inside of them, there's nothing in them.
They're
They're just
empty.
empty. But people are buying pieces within the building that don't exist. And since they're not able to rent those pieces out,
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. And China's doing more of a kind of like a North Korean on the border of North Korea and South Korea, how they built up that one little city right there to make it look like it's.
Well, it sounds to me like it's almost a literal Airbnb.
There you go, Steve.
Right there.
See, there's that little house right here.
And then look at the garage on the back. It's almost
It's a little-
bigger than the house.
Wow,
The 400,000 sold in 4 days.
that's a good sized lot though it's on. How big's
Yeah,
the lot?
well, it was
Half acre.
195 by 115.
195 by 115 feet. That shows how small that house really is.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
But I
reason
wouldn't-
that this house went so high though too is it is just under 11,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And for the areas here, that's a big lot.
Well,
Yeah.
Paul, you
That's
said a
almost
lot
a
of
quarter of an acre.
Paul, you said a lot of the houses in that area though were going for about 670 to
Well,
around that, right?
the average price right now in St. Thomas, it's only 40,000 people, but the average price right now is 670,000.
So what I'm thinking is they bought that lot for 400 and they're going to spend a couple $100,000 building a house on it.
Flip
They'll
it.
probably end up tearing that
well,
house down.
It's zoned R3. They can put in 2 townhouses or they can put in a 4-plex. So that's what will happen.
Oh, it's multi residential
Multi-use.
zoning on it.
Yeah.
Then.
yeah.
So yeah, that's probably what they'll end up doing.
They probably build a 4-plex on it.
But the one we were talking about a year ago, Paul, was that little lot that was sold. And it was only, how wide was that lot?
Oh, crap. Jesus. I don't even know how you'd even put a house on it. There's a tree right in the middle of it.
Yeah, it was a tree in the middle of it, and I think it was 25 feet wide and about 100 feet deep. And it sold for how much?
Oh, I forget now. Hang on. I know. See if I can find it. I think that was Dallas. I think it was. Okay. No, I.
Because Paul went out and put a sign on it, and he laughed. He says, "You got to see this place. You know, they're trying to sell this," and Paul was laughing. That never sell. Next thing you know, they tell him to pull the sign because it's sold.
So my sign's bigger than the front yard.
Yeah.
It's amazing the difference in pricing when you have residential versus commercial property. And back at my old residence, right across the street was it was nothing there but a gigantic field. But it was quarter or half an acre. I think it was 125 grand. It
Wow.
was commercial. It was zoned as commercial though.
Oh.
You know, and I went and bought a full house, 2 acres of property, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2 car, or like a 3-car garage for $250. You know,
Well, commercial too comes with a lot more regulations and
yeah.
it's a lot more utilities have to be ran to that.
Justin, is Jim doing
No.
a show tonight?
Well, he hasn't messaged me and said he wasn't, so I'm assuming he is.
No, I can't find it. Yeah. Yeah, it was stupid anyways, that one freaking lot dump. And the funny thing was that when they sold the place, they never put a sold sign on it. You should just go pull the sign because they didn't want the neighbor to know that they sold it.
They sold that little lot.
Wow.
Because all that, you got the old cottagers around there going, hey, what the hell's going on here? And,
Hey.
big stink to put up about it, right?
Hey, Ron, did you see what Marshall put in there?
No, I can't see the
He
chat.
says, "Hey, Ron, you should start a guiding service here in Arizona." He saw 4 big bucks today and a bunch of wild pigs.
The pigs are everywhere though. They're
Uh,
invading everything.
guys got-
about.
you got them down there in Florida too, don't you?
Yeah, I
Justin?
told you that my buddy Connor I work with, he's having issues over in his neighborhood. They're tearing up their front yard and shit over there. That's why I said he wanted me to fly my drone over into the swamp area to see if you could figure out where they were at. Because they've been coming, you said that they move around, but for the last month or two, they've been just coming into his and his neighbor's front yard, just tearing it up every
Yeah, if you
night.
fly the drone out, you'll probably find a heavily beaten down path.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
The problem is there's hold on, let me turn my camera back on. I'm sitting here doing motions with my hands. You guys can't even see me. But right at the edge of him and his neighbor's property, there's a huge tree line. But the problem is it's all swamp under those trees. So you can't walk out there at all. Like it's just knee deep swamp, and you don't want to go traipsing through there. I don't care
Yeah,
if you have
if
swamp
you
boots
had a
on.
nice thermal drone, you could really find them easy.
But
Yeah.
I figured, I told him, I said I could pop the R2 of the Mini One up and just kind of cruise around or over top and see if I can see anything for him.
I had one of my neighbors in California. He was, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile from me. He had a fruit tree ranch or farm, whatever you call it. And that summer, he had over 300 pigs he had shot and killed. They were
Yeah.
coming in and they like to root and dig, and they were digging up all his PVC pipe, for water in the trees,
Mhm.
and just causing all kinds of damage. And he got devastation permits, and he had over between 300 and 400 that summer he shot. He just shoot them and leave them lay.
Yeah, because they're not really good to eat, from what I've been told, right?
The small ones aren't too bad. Like the two I got, they're about, I don't know, 80 to 100 pounds a piece. But that was that
Can't
two
you-
for shot.
But can't you catch wild hogs and like pin them and almost re-domesticate them if you start feeding them? Because
You'd have to get them pretty damn young.
because it's crazy the transformation from a domesticated pig that it gets out into the wild, and just the
Mhm.
transformation, the look of it, how it changes. Just
Oh,
from
and they
being in the
get-
wild is insane.
They're vicious. They get mean.
They're aggressive, right?
Oh, very aggressive.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That's like he told that guy that I was with. I was on his property, and that's that day I shot him in the head. I hate to talk gruesome on your channel, Paul, but anyhow, I went through and hit the second one in the chest. I killed two with one bullet. And he told me, instead of walking back up, 1,000 yards back up the hill to his truck, he goes, "Ron, just walk 500 yards down the hill. I'll pick you up and down on the road." And I was going to give him my gun so I had less things to carry. He goes, "Oh no, you want to keep that with you." He goes, "Because now you have a blood trail." He
Yeah.
said, "Though, and watch your back." So didn't
Oh,
see
yeah.
any more of it. Yeah.
Well, I would think even wild pigs though would grind up for burger if you put some sausage with it or whatever.
Or pork
Yeah.
or something like, well, pork fat, but then you
Yeah.
should have,
Well, the problems with pigs, I'm assuming, is why a lot of people don't like the wild ones. Is probably because they just eat every damn thing in sight.
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, they do.
So it's not like they have a consistent certain diet. They just eat whatever the hell they run across. So it probably doesn't make them taste too good. They're
Well,
not
that's where he was saying about, the deer eating on the corn and the grain and stuff like that. That's some good eating.
Yeah. Yeah, the deer, most of the deer that Paul gets down in southern Ontario is
Yeah.
like grain fed and corn fed but there's a different taste, Paul was saying, of
Oh,
way
yeah.
up in northern Canada.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
There you go. There's the
Oh yeah, there you
Yep,
go.
big, yeah, yeah.
You got them both with one shot.
one shot. That's what I call my twofer. 2 for 1 shot.
But that's like in Texas, man. They're absolutely out of control there.
Oh,
But like I said, they're
I wanna
slowly
go-
feeding out into all the states. Eventually, every state's going to be overran with them.
Is
Wow.
oh, there you go,
that
Paul.
from today?
Huh? That's a hamburger we did today.
Hamburger
Wow, that's
Wow.
today.
Lot of
You
meat
mix
there,
regular-
Paul.
Yeah.
You mix regular burger in too, Paul, or
Well, we
Or any
usually
kind
put
of
a bit of
pork?
pork fat, but
Pork,
this
yeah.
time, we didn't. It had so much fat on it that we just cut it up, and
really?
ground it up. Yep, we didn't put any pork fat this time.
So people actually mix like regular beef and pork with it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that. That's interesting.
Mm.
Because was it kind of get rid of a little bit of the gamey taste or something?
A little bit, yeah. But I noticed, like I said, that elk that I had last week, oh my God, that was phenomenal. That and bison, it's amazing. We had a guy,
Yep.
Here
This
last-
is when we're cutting up our hamburger. See all the fat already in it?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of fat already in this there. Look at the chunk. Yeah, it just, yeah.
we had one of our hunters give his entire bison away. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, you realize what that stuff costs in the restaurants here? A bison burger? It's not cheap. Bison burgers are expensive burgers here.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, I'm gonna jump off because I'm gonna take like a 10-15 minute break before
Okay,
Jim
Justin,
goes live.
who's,
Yeah.
Jim's on tonight?
Jim from Above and Beyond
Yeah.
Drones.
Above
He
and
should
Beyond.
be going on at 8. I haven't received my email from him I usually get every week.
Yeah, I didn't see any email come in.
But sometimes he doesn't send them till the last second too. So
Yeah.
he'll send them
It-
like 5 minutes before. So
See, this is on my bus. Somebody hit my bus
Oh, no.
Oh,
right
shoot.
there. Yeah. The bus parked next door to me, went to back out and turned too quick. Yeah. I never had a mark on my bus at all. Now I got pain in the ass.
Well, I better go shower myself, Paul.
Yep.
And get ready for
Okay,
work.
okay.
Bye-bye.
Everybody, I think we might as well call it, huh?
Yeah, I gotta edit pictures. I got stuff I gotta bring in the house. I wanna
Hey, thanks for coming, Ron.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
of course, my little co-host there, Paul Hodges, has been out playing Butcher Man. So
Paul, tomorrow morning I will be on, but I might be an extra 10 minutes late or
okay,
15 minutes. I had a check engine light come on my truck today on the way back from London. So a friend of mine, he's got the OBD reader.
yeah,
So he's gonna go over and he's gonna plug it in just to see what the code is for me.
okay.
But I just got to stop after my bus run right shortly after 9 o'clock.
Sounds
Won't take
good.
him 5 minutes to do it. So
Okay, everybody in the chat, thanks for being here, and we'll see all of you again next time.
see you
All
guys.
right,
Nice
Steve.
to see you. Hey, nice to see
Ron.
you, Steve. Here. So
Yep.
Good
Yep.
to see you, sir.
Yep.
Thank you,
All right,
Paul.
guys.
See you, Ron.
You're always
All right.
welcome, Steve.
All right, guys.